Hi, everybody. Welcome to A Short for Overreactive. I've been seeing some really interesting things online about the Mediterranean diet and how it may not necessarily apply or be applicable to everybody, which I think is really interesting because in the medical community, we talk so much about the Mediterranean diet. Now, everything should be the Mediterranean diet. Yeah, we love it. So tell me, Becca, what you think about these sort of new ideas that maybe this isn't for everybody.
What I've seen is like people are saying that it's not an inclusive diet.
Okay.
That when we talk about the Mediterranean diet, what we're really talking about is sort of Greek food and maybe a little Middle Eastern food. But we're ignoring the fact that the Mediterranean actually bounds many countries with many different cuisines. And I think it's a really good commentary. We really should think about how does this apply across different cultural barriers? Because we talk about the Mediterranean diet because in Western medicine we have studied specifically a Mediterranean diet that tends to be very European-centric, right?
What?
That's
Shocking.
what we look at. I know we're shocked.
Shocking.
I know
We're
we're all
looking at
shocked
it
that
through.
we were European-centric in studying something.
We can't help
But I think that the ideas that the nutrients that we think are important in the Mediterranean diet can apply to many cultural eating patterns, including those of Africa, including those of South America. And really thinking about the quality of the fats that you're using in your cooking and using ones that are better for your heart. Thinking about the proportion of lean proteins and of vegetables and of legumes and what proportion of your plate those are making up. Whatever vegetables and legumes are culturally appropriate for you. It doesn't have to be, hummus and a Mediterranean fish and olive oil if those aren't culturally appropriate
everyone loves
to
a good
you.
branzino, but, that may not apply.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But, there are great ways to eat in that pattern in South American foods or Central American foods. There are great ways to eat in that pattern in African foods. There are great healthy ways to eat in that pattern in Asian foods. And many of these cultural diets actually emphasize those ingredients as well as the mainstay of what people eat, because these are sort of the bulk of what we're eating are whole grains and legumes and vegetables, because those are the inexpensive foods that fill us up and keep us healthy, and then a little lean protein, a little healthy fat, and you've got a healthy diet. It may or may not be Mediterranean.
You may not see it on a Greek aisle, but that doesn't mean it isn't fabulous and applicable to you and healthy for you. So I think that's really great. I think that's super important. We need to broaden and make sure that these recommendations can apply globally. And I think that's really great that more and more attention is being brought, to that sort of how we have such blinders on so often and we have such a narrow viewpoint and how much we can learn when we look outside of our sort of tunnel vision. Yeah.
Thank you.